What would your life look like if you could walk into any room or answer any phone call and say exactly what you wanted to say and ask for what you wanted? Imagine being in a situation where someone asks you for a massive favor that you just don't have the time and the energy for. And instead of freezing or stressing or immediately saying yes, you easily look them in the eye and you say, "I'd love to help, but I can't take that on right now." And you say it with warmth, kindness, and little to no panic. And what if you don't spend the following 3 hours replaying it and you don't feel a drop of guilt? You just move on with your day, feeling light, clear, and maybe even a little bit proud of yourself. That's entirely possible. If we haven't met before, my name is Christina Solis, and I help you find your words, feel heard, and step into your power. But maybe while you were listening to what I was saying, your internal voice started to chime in and say, all right, that sounds great. It really does, but I'm just not that way. I'm a quiet person, or I tend to be a bit of a people pleaser. If that sounds like something you've thought or said before, keep watching. I want to invite you into a completely different perspective. I want to show you that the dream of standing in your power and owning your space has nothing to do with your personality. You do not have to change who you are to beautifully upgrade how you communicate. A huge misunderstanding that keeps a lot of people trapped in silence or swallowing their words is the belief that assertiveness is just part of who someone is. It can be easy to look at someone who speaks up and then we assume that they're born with that special confidence gene or that special sauce that we just didn't get. But I want you to realize something incredibly liberating. Assertiveness doesn't have to be an identity. It's not a personality type. It really can be just a muscle that needs a little bit more training and exercise. So think about it this way. If you've never lifted something heavy in your entire life, or it's been a really long time since you've done it, and I ask you to pick up a 50-pound suitcase, you might struggle. But you wouldn't look at the suitcase and say, well, my body is just not that kind of body that's capable of lifting things. It's just my personality to be weak. Of course not. You wouldn't say that. You would recognize that your muscle's simply untrained, it's atrophied, and it's maybe waiting for a workout. That exact same thing is true for your voice. Because you've practiced the habit of over-accommodating and keeping the peace for 20, 30, 40 years, that response feels natural to you. That muscle's gotten more than enough training. It feels automatic. So you label it as your personality. But it's not. It's just a habit. When you start treating assertiveness like a skill rather than an identity, you can change everything. This is how you can start. You realize you get to keep 100% of your natural kindness and your gentle spirit. You're not becoming a loud, aggressive, fake version of yourself. You're simply adding a brand new layer of functional strength to that beautiful personality that you already have. And let me tell you, I had to learn this lesson in my own hard way. I used to think that speaking up for myself would make people think that I was too much or difficult or even a bitch. I would think about that one lady in the weekly meetings who had something to say about everything, and I didn't want to be like her. I wanted people to like me. Nobody could say anything bad about me because I never gave them any reason to. Does that sound a little familiar? It took me years and years to learn that there actually are ways to speak up and ask for what I needed, and not only keep my sense of comfort, but also start to be seen as a confident and assertive person. Before I knew it, It became normal for people to compliment me on my presence and how I'm likable and safe to talk to, but I also don't let people walk all over me. And when I started to see little moments of evidence that I could speak up and still be myself, my entire identity totally changed. It was the habit first, and then the identity. Once I unlocked that door, my assertive energy exploded. And today, I can comfortably live in both worlds. A lot of us think that being assertive means being confrontational, making demands, or even being loud. And because you're a kind, loving person who probably hates conflict, you keep yourself from standing up by convincing yourself that you're just not that way. But that, my friend, is a self-imposed limitation masquerading as a fact. It is a limiting belief designed to keep you safe from the temporary awkwardness of trying something new. The truth is, you don't lack the capacity to speak up. You've just been operating under an outdated definition of what it means to use your voice. Okay, so how do we actually begin to build this muscle and step into a new and empowering reality? If you wanted to build physical strength, you don't just walk into the gym on day one and try to bench press 500 pounds. If you do that, you're probably going to hurt yourself, you might get discouraged, you might even quit. So instead, you start with lighter, more manageable weights depending on where you're at. So, to build your assertiveness muscle, you need to find what I like to call low-stakes training grounds in your everyday life. So these are safe, low-consequence environments where you can practice the mechanics of speaking up without any sort of emotional risk. So here's 3 easy ways that you can use to start working out that muscle this week. The next time you go out to a restaurant or a coffee shop, practice making a highly specific request. Something, obviously that fits you. Ask for the dressing on the side, or ask for your drink to be extra hot. Don't apologize for it, and don't make an excuse. Just state your preference. Smile if you want. Number 2, let's say you get seated at a restaurant right next to a noisy kitchen door or directly under the freezing AC unit. Practice saying something like, "Is there any reason why we can't sit at the booth by the window instead?" If you feel like telling them why, you can, but you don't have to. The simple fact that you want to move is absolutely enough. And then the next time you're in a group chat or a family, there's a family situation and somebody says, "When does everybody want to meet?" Instead of just sending your usual "Oh, I don't care, whatever everyone else wants," or what works for everyone, I want you to step up and share what you actually prefer. You can say something like, "I'm really craving Mexican food. Let's do that." Or, "We had such a good time at the park last time. Let's do it again." Remember, they literally asked a question, and you're just providing your answer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not confrontational, and you're not being too much. Every single time you do this, you're sending a powerful message to your own nervous system. You're proving to yourself that you can express a preference, hold your ground, and the world won't end. You're building the muscle memory of confidence and safety in that confidence, one repetition at a time. When you start to do this and build that muscle, a beautiful shift starts to happen in your life. You can stop living on the sidelines. Your relationships become deeper and more authentic because people finally get to know the real you, not just the version of you who constantly smiles and agrees. You show yourself that your voice matters, your space is protected, and your peace is secure. You are, right now, entirely capable of carrying yourself on that level. You don't need a personality transplant. You just need a little bit of practice. And you don't have to do that practice alone. If you're ready to break through those old limiting beliefs and start building your assertiveness muscle, I want to invite you into my free 4-day video series, The Foundations of Assertiveness. Inside, you and I are going to lay out the exact framework to steady your nervous system, handle that initial clumsiness of that awkward phase, and help you flex your voice with total warmth and confidence. Click the link down in the description to secure your free spot and get day one sent straight to your inbox. Your voice is a beautiful gift, and it's time to let it be heard and used in the way it was meant to be. I'm right here with you every step of the way. Talk to you soon.